Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Lestat.
I'm Perry. Oops, is this on?
Yeah, yep. Mine is.
Thank you first for the invitation today. Pleased to be here. I guess we should start with the first question, and I will read it.
Go for it.
What was our first impression of each other? And I will give the first answer, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Louder?
Louder.
Okay. I was on secondment in London for a New York law firm at the time. I was there for 3 months in year 2000 and happened to be in negotiations in Frankfurt, like Thursday to Friday. Decided to stay the weekend because I'd never seen Frankfurt before. Woke up Sunday morning to find my alarm clock had broken. Missed my flight. Ended up getting back to London several hours later than I thought, and then getting to the gym several hours later than I thought. It was because of the broken alarm clock that we actually met, because I would not have gone to the gym at that hour, and in a city as big as London, you can imagine the chances of crossing paths were probably quite low. So there was some degree of luck or fate, whatever you may want to call it, involved. And I saw him working out. I thought he was very cute, and I was doing my workout, and ultimately got dressed and left, and I waited a little bit downstairs to see if he would come out.
Well, 25 years ago in London, I was a student, and on that day I was supposed to go to the gym. That was planned. Didn't have a problem with my alarm clock. Everything was set. I'm French, super well organized, and and generally speaking, after the gym, I'm always doing on Saturday my grocery shopping. Love to cook. That day, God knows why, I just changed my plan. I went to grocery before, meaning that I was late at the gym, so I could meet that one here. I met Perry. And it's a bit like, you know, when you meet someone at the gym, it's a bit like when you go to the groceries, you go to the fruit section, and you see what you get. You don't know what's inside, but you know what you get. So I picked a really nice apple, I'll tell you that. Only later on I understood that he spoke 7 languages, including, what do you call that?
French?
No. seven languages plus a dialect from Micronesia. And pretty often I will go into a room where he will be most likely the smartest one in the room. Well, it's true. So he was a keeper.
You want to read the next question?
Oh, yeah, should I read the next section? Okay, sorry. What kept us together so long? Oh, I have to start also with that? Okay. Well, wait, sorry, I don't have my glasses. Well, it's kind of like we always felt like we were meant to be together from day one. We had that meeting in London. Perry left back to the States because he was in position for a really short period of time. I moved back to Paris. So we had that long distance relationship that we built on. And it was like built on trust. It was built on the hope of seeing each other. So I moved back. I moved after to visit him in the UK, in the States, and then after we moved to France, and after that we moved to Romania.
Yes. You mentioned when we were going over the rehearsal that you considered a long-distance relationship, but strangely, I never really felt that way, because for a long time, I often felt that things that I did before we met, that we were together. It was a weird feeling. I thought, remember going to, and then I realized he wasn't there. I hadn't met him yet. But somehow I felt he was always with me. And for me, it was, in many ways, not long distance. So he did come to visit in New York, and I waited, and he was the last one off the airplane. I thought, is he coming? Isn't he coming? Because, you meet someone, and you're together in London for a month and a half. What are the chances that they're going to make a trip all the way to New York to see you, right? But he ended up getting off that plane, the last person.
And keep in mind, please, that that was 25 years ago. Long distance relationship was not like today. You take the phone, you WhatsApp. I'm French. I barely knew what was an email.
You didn't have any. He did not have an email address. No, he sent me faxes and letters, and I still have them. No kidding.
I mean, no, guys, realize it was the time that in France, you wanted to send an email. You needed to go to a cafe in Paris, wait for your spot, and send the email. I mean, create the email address, etc., and send the email. And, you know, that was, I think that's the will of building that long distance relationship is why we are here together again today.
Yeah, and another aspect that has kept us together, I would say, is Lestat's spontaneity and sense of humor. You mentioned picking out an apple earlier, I think, that I was a good apple. And I think you remember now what I'm going to say. I was once walking ahead of him on the street, and he was eating an apple, and he threw it right at me and hit me in the back of the head. And I thought, why did you do that? He said, I just wanted to see what would happen.
It's a true story. I also did it with a croissant. I also did it with a bagel.
The bagel, you were mad at me. You had gotten lost. I'd gotten ahead of you in New York City, and you said, why did you get ahead of me? So that takes us to the third question, which is, what were the biggest conflicts? Yes, aside from throwing bagels and apples and other things at me. Yes, we come from very different cultures, of course. On the surface, in many ways, it's not like Chinese and American or South African and American, but we're very different. French culture is very different from American. We have, the French
as a culture. Sorry.
Well, firstly, the French are chronologically challenged usually. Very hard to keep them on time. Americans like to be on time. We start meetings on time. Dinner's on time. If you go to dinner at a French person's house in Paris, and if you show up at 7 when you're invited, you're too early. If you show up at 7:30, that's about right. If you show up at 7:30 in America, people are going to be really upset that you're half an hour late.
It's called a quarter of politeness. You leave 15 minutes extra to the mistress of the house for her to be unchilled, ready, dressed with a glass of wine, ready to receive you. We know life, guys. What do you think? But I mean, yeah, there is the difference of culture. You understood there's also the difference of language. My English was not that amazing 25 years ago. I still have that really strong pronunciation, which when you come home, I mean, when Perry comes back home, I mean, after so long, I notice when he doesn't get what I'm saying. He gets that strange face like this, he's scared. He turns away, he leaves the room like this on the side. And I'm like, just please, if you don't understand what I'm saying, ask again.
No, the easiest answer is, yes, okay, that's fine.
And then he receives a bagel on the corner. But also simple things. And again, it's really somehow the difference of culture. And we were speaking about it last week. It still amazes me how Americans put the balls in the dishwasher on the lower part of the machine. We all put it on top. It drives me nuts. And that doesn't change for 25 years. And the worst part is that those bad habits goes on my two twins because they all do the same thing. So I have 3 Americans against 1 French in the house with proper ethic, and those 3 are living like little wilds.
Yes, and you have to learn that if you're French, there's only one way to cut the cheese, and it applies to various types of cheese. If the cheese is round, there's a way to cut it. If the cheese is rectangular, you cut it at angles. I tell you, if you go to a party in the States, people just hack that cheese apart. So he was horrified when we hosted a party in New York, and some friends came and were hacking at the cheese.
Yeah, really, I mean, that was bad. But so to go on the next question.
Yes.
The next question. Sorry to interrupt everything. Can we please check your microphone?
Oh.
I'm sorry to intervene.
This one?
Your microphone isn't working.
Oh.
It's working.
No?
I'm not loud enough generally?
Oh, here.
Is it
Okay.
No, no.
Is it on?
Yeah, no, it's on. Okay, there we go. I think I'm loud enough anyway.
We have to start again?
No.
So, how did you manage to build a business? Well, first you have to understand we have two different perspectives. I'm an entrepreneur. I see opportunities. Perry is a lawyer. He sees all the negative stuff.
All the risks.
That's why I said all the negative stuff. So my background is in real estate. That's what I did from day one. And I see a property, I have a vision, I see the potential, I see everything that goes after the renovation, the construction. Perry is gonna get in the conversation and he's going to try to not make it as much as he can. So that's for the business part. But
Well, no, exactly right. I remember going to see an investment he had identified in Paris and another in Bucharest. He was all excited. He goes, "Oh, you're going to love it. You're going to love it." We drove up to the either place, got out, and I'm like, "Really? This pile of stone?" I didn't see the vision. In the end, he had an amazing vision, and he designed he did the design, helped oversee the renovation, etc. And they were fantastic successes. But I just, for me, I don't see that. On the other hand, we had squatters in the place in Bucharest, and for me, that was not a great idea to buy a place with squatters living in it, with a lawsuit that had already been going on for 10 years. But we managed
for
to
me,
deal
was
with
not
it.
a problem.
Yeah.
I made friend with them, get in there. At the time we were speaking in dollars. I went with a small envelope, got everyone out. Everyone was happy. We closed the deal. But besides business, there is also a vision. Both of us are true believers of inclusion, of minorities, whatever is the minority. And we created the Romanian Diversity Chamber of Commerce. So that gave us another way of balancing life, because when you balance life between two people in business and the personal life, it's a balance. But when you do it on the social perspective, it's another balance. And we've learned that also, to balance our lives a different way once more.
Yes, well, that goes to the biggest challenges, I think, because in some ways, balance is maybe not the right word. I think a lot of what we do, look, I'm on call 24/7 as a lawyer in a professional services organization. My clients call me at 11 o'clock on a Saturday night. I answer the call, because if I don't answer the call, another lawyer is going to answer the call. That's unfortunately how we live today. And I'm sure a lot of people in this room are in professional services, architects or otherwise, who simply are on call all the time. The Diversity Chamber of Commerce adds another dimension to it, because it also places huge demands on our time, and especially Lestat's time, because he's really taken the lead in the project. And he's spending so many hours beyond Monday through Friday, beyond 9 to 5, working on this, putting his heart into it. And it's hard to balance your own personal sanity, your family, what your projects are, what your work is.
So basically what we're trying to explain to you, that leads to a really pretty often, situation that I encounter. I end up always speaking more often to his secretary in order to get information than to him.
No, it's true.
It's true. It's true.
You knocked on my door the other day at work, and I was on a call. I was like, no.
So the problem here is it's time, and we need to know to prioritize our time. We need to know better ourselves how to prioritize it. First comes the family, because we have 2 kids. Then after you have the business, after you have the friends. So how do we balance all that? It's even today, we still are trying to learn to do it. We're far from mastering that part. So that brings us to, how did we manage, five. What are the biggest challenges in the present?
That was it. Yeah,
Oh, that was it?
I moved to that one, yeah.
Oh, that was the one?
If you have any others, you can add them.
No, I'm good.
That's good.
But so that the sixth one is yours.
The sixth one. Right. Okay. Well, the sixth one is the last one, and it is simply, what do we take out of this speech, and what do we want to leave the audience with?
Well, I'll go back to the balance. There is no perfect situation, and when you are into a tandem, whatever is the tandem you are in, a relationship, a business, a friendship, don't try to find the perfect solution. It doesn't exist. Try to find the perfect balance, because that's the way to go further. And I think, because we all know, everybody know that there's no perfect answer either, the best is to try to find the perfect partner, to find the perfect answers.
I think we should also mention, go with your instincts sometimes, because thinking through issues does not always get you to the optimal solution, whether it's in personal life or whether it's in business. You have to feel, I think, that something is right for you, right for the moment, right for your business, right for your family. What else?
I'm good. I think that's it.
Yeah.
You said it all.
Yeah. Well, what about the role of luck or fortune? Sometimes things happen. Sometimes things just don't go like you expect them to go. Sometimes you think in 5 years you're going to have this goal achieved. In 3 years, you're going to have this goal achieved. Life and business don't always go as planned, and I think that's pretty much okay, because as long as you go with it and you see the good in everything that happens and recognize the challenges.
25 years ago, when he missed his flight and I changed my shuttle, it was like, at the moment we're like, shit, damn it, I've missed it. And we turned that situation into an opportunity. We took the wave, and that brought us here together 25 years after, in Romania, totally different country from where we come from. We built a family, we built a new circle of friends, and we built a business together and a social venture. And we're really happy to add you today as an audience.
Yes.
Thank you for listening.